Ruler School is brought to you by Odyssey Games, where you can go to pre-order upcoming Force of Will sets, ccgprime.com for singles and supplies, cardodoko.com for those rulers in the international market looking for product, as well as our guest lecturer members Vite Ramen and Full Grammar Alchemist. Class is in session. Hey there, rulers. Welcome back after a long week of Force of Will to your favorite ever live Force of Will podcast. It's Office Hours, featuring myself, DMO73, and I'm joined, as always, by Paul Reisman. Paul, how you doing today?
I'm doing kind of okay. It's weird watching myself on camera.
Welcome to what I do every week. So we are here. We are chatting about all things Force of Will related, specifically just some housekeeping elements for today. This coming weekend is the Discord event over on Ruler School, the Discord Circuit Series event for September. Paradox format, pre-ATD, webcam event, no proxies allowed. Go get signed up. It's only $15. You get 5 prize wall points just for entering. You can take home one of the 8 synthetic homunculus Lucy mats, including possibly taking home the champion mat. So there's a link in the description to go get signed up for that event over on rollerschooltcg.com. Really hope to see you there. Really hope that event is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to see what people are going to goof around with. I know we've all been focused on ATD, but it's like, hey, ATD is not actually out yet, so let's play some Paradox format before they come out yet. I think it'll be fun. Also, be on the lookout this week for Odyssey Games having their pre-orders up for the next set. So that'll be up coming this week as well, so get those in. Today, we're doing something a little different. We were like, hey, there's no news. We've been experimenting with this idea of doing some different kind of content here on the channel. And we were like, what a better way to start now that we're doing these. If you aren't a member, you should join as a member because you're going to start seeing more members-only content. But if you are a member, you can go check out our all-nighter series that we're starting, which is where we take a ruler, we start by talking about the deck, showing off the deck list, and then taking it through just a gauntlet of games against a bunch of different decks. And then we kind of do like what did we think at the end of it? What would we do different? It's about a longer series episodes with lots of different games, lots of cool interaction, and player communication. It's not commentated, it's just live audio. And so to kind of go in that threshold of exploring that space, we decided let's just build a deck live. Let's figure it out.
One of our favorites, in fact.
Both of us
I don't know
really
like. I love this deck.
Yeah, both of us have a really soft spot in our hearts for Hyde. Just a very cool ruler. So we figured, hey, let's revisit it a little bit and talk about it in Wanderer. Hindered Magic Duel is a very good new blue-white control card for a deck that wants to have a lot of cards in hand. Who would have thought? Hindered Magic Duel seems pretty good. So we're going to talk about that a little bit here. So obviously Hyde, I want to go off just in general about talking about my initial thoughts about Hyde going into the Paradox format, think she's going to lose, and big considerations that she has to deal with in the nowadays. One is she has to deal with, I don't think she has to deal with as much Fates Reunited as she did before, because I think people are exploring things that aren't Lapis Cluster as much, and Academy Grounds can't turn off rulers. So that's obviously something that I'm already thinking about. Like, oh, okay, Hyde has that a little bit of that freedom again. Also thinking about the fact that X the Black Cat lets us filter. So pretty good to be able to get some interesting stone bases and maybe feel a little bit more comfortable being 3, maybe even splash a 4th color into that. I do also want to say, big consideration, no solo mode. We're just going to have to accept that we don't have solo mode. I think we've accepted that just fine. And then
no setting sun rune.
No setting sun rune. And then one other thing that I really do want to think about with this ruler is Ega or no Ega. And I say this specifically because Aegis is a keyword. And surprisingly enough, giving our ninjas quick cast reduces their flexibility because then they have quick cast, which means they can't target stuff with Aegis. Specifically, things like Rusty being able to flip itself face up and pop something. If it doesn't have Aegis, if it doesn't have quick cast, it can kill something with Aegis. I also think of R Tracker, the -6/-6, pay a black, put it face down card. That's not quick cast. So that's a consideration for me as well. These are just my initial kind of thoughts, thinking about it in Paradox. So, Paul, I mean, what are your kind of thoughts, kind of first glances at Hyde?
So first thing that I would do, just to help people kind of like orient around the correct version of Iga.
Sure.
Let's have you get rid of the old Iga, and then when you go into your deck edit, just turn off Paradox.
Is this the old one? Oh,
it's the old one. Yeah.
Whoops. Let me go fix this real quick. I am in Paradox.
They're not in Paradox. There is no way to give them stealth. So.
Interesting. I can't find the new version.
Go to Advanced Search.
Advanced Search. Iga.
It's that middle tab there.
Yep. Iga.
You're gonna scroll down. And make sure that you have Paradox untoggled in the format options. There.
Untoggled?
Yeah, so it just put in no format.
There it is. Okay, cool.
And then you can find it.
Then I can get the mist techniques. Yes. Let me clear this out. I'll put this in the right spot. Okay, cool. Good catch.
Yeah. That's how I find them.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I think what I want to know is, are there cards with Aegis that we are scared of?
Sure.
First, when it comes down to Hyde. So I'm going to look up what cards I'm most afraid of with Aegis. And like chat, if you have ideas, Jeremy, if you have ideas,
yeah, let me
know, because there's not a lot right now.
Yes, there certainly is not very much. Varkusal has Aegis. Manifested Paradoxical Maiden has Aegis. That's a consideration for me. I think is a big one.
Yeah, it's big.
There was also a world to me where Iga felt like a very easy. Those are the only. There's really not that much. Like the biggest one right now that exists is primarily Manifested Paradoxical Maiden. One of my considerations for this was
and Duskfur. Are we expecting Duskfur to be?
Duskfur could be there. Yeah, it could be there. I think that's a little bit less common, and we're not necessarily. I guess let's just say like we're not trying to build this to win a GP. Like I think that's a good preface point. Is like we're just trying to say like,
okay,
let's try to build the best possible generic Hyde list that we could like take and showcase on the channel and put through the ringer, right? Valencio in general, that's a good point. Valencio in general does have Paradox, or does give Aegis at least for the first few turns. So it makes everything have Aegis. This to me feels like it's something where, because there are things that we want to deal with that have Aegis, it might be like Iga gets boarded, right? Like it starts in the main, and if we pair into an Iga heavy deck, then we can board it out, right? Which doesn't immediately like take it out of the running for me. Because I do think that like quick cast contract is really nice. Being able to force banish 2 things is also really good, just in general. Expanding the Shinobi EX area is really good.
Quick cast spiders are also like really solid.
Yeah, quick cast spiders do feel okay. I was thinking about quick cast spiders a little bit. It was in this weird space where I was kind of wondering, is Chubby 5-tailed Fox maybe just better? Because most of the deck can be black, and we're black-green.
They also get bigger.
They do. They do form a way for us to kind of close out games, for sure. I think we obviously have to talk about how Rusty's Fox has to be in as a 4/0. I just think that's mandatory, right? Rusty's Fox is just
Yeah.
really good.
It's your generic removal.
It's your generic removal. You can pay it for it gets a pretty decent body. I think Rusty also probably finds a home in the deck for sure.
Yeah, like one, maybe two.
I'm
I've
kind
always
of
felt
leaning
like
on
really...
three. I'm kind of leaning on three personally.
Oh, really? All right, all right.
I think being able to it can gain 1,000 life, draw us a card. We can steal stuff from our opponent. It's 1,000 body with precision. These things you can include some of the other types of removal like Vakas or Reinhardt contract. Yeah, for sure. Those are also some things that I've been considering as well.
Yeah.
Rusty Ningus, I think, probably is a couple copies. Like when I think of like the ninja package right now, right? I think it's like Hyde, Shooting Star of Light, Rocket Dive, Iga, Fox, Rusty Ningus to be able to cycle. Thinking of other ninjas, Aristella and Hyde, I don't like right now.
Yeah, say more about that because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of just like it's an okay concept, right? It just doesn't feel like it's one of those things where it by itself has no way to dodge Alabaster. Right?
Sure.
It has 0 ways to dodge Alabaster because it always is discounted by 1 if we're playing Hyde. Right? Mm-hmm. So like the other things I think have the ability to dodge it. Spider breeding for the infinite, maybe that's quite possible. With the infinite Hyde spider breeding life loss combo, I could see maybe just 1 spider breeding just for a way to be able to close out the game. It does kind of suck that we can't search it. That does kind of suck. That we can't search spider breeding ninja, and it requires us to also get Ningus live to be able to do that. Like I don't know, I'm not super huge fan of that. I do like L tracker or tracker. Which one is it? It's the
L tracker buffs. R tracker
does minus.
Does minus.
The reason why I like R tracker
also could be a way to get around Aegis too. Just -6 the board.
So that's the thing is, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do think that R tracker goes in the deck for sure. I almost kind of think it goes in at several copies. I think at least 3 personally, because I think it's not a chance. It can be quick cast and it's an activate ability, which can be hard to cancel in Paradox, right? So I do like that idea. -6 can be a lot. So like this to me feels like a pretty decent show. So we're looking at, again, I'll pull up the deck here, save it. We've got 3 Hyde Shooting Star of Light, 3 Hyde Shooting Star of Light, 3 Rocket Dive, 3 Iga, 4 Rusty's Fox, 4 Rusty, 2 Ningus, 3 R Tracker. This to me covers a basis of like it's got spot removal, it's got pressure, it's got ability to close out games. Like we recognize that in general Hyde is going to be grindy, right? Like we just understand that I think when we think about this black-white color combo, it's pretty grindy. Things that I really like about it in general too is that has bodies that survive and can be used in response, or not necessarily used in response, but can be used to dodge things like Demon's Blood, right? Things that have good defense, like Rusty is a 7 set, or Rusty's Fox is a 5/8, Rusty's a 10/10. These are things that can survive. Pink Spider herself is an 8/11, right? These are things that can survive Demon's Blood. So we're not just going to eat a board clear. These are all things that I'm considering for sure. So like this to me feels like it's got a good amount of being able to close things out or being able to put on pressure. I do agree with, this kind of, now this is all black-white. So this is the next part of the conversation that I want to have with you, Paul, is I think that with the stones that we have, Hyde can very easily play black, white, green,
Hmm.
My question is, how much do we think it's possible, or how much do we want to fight to go black, white, green, blue?
So let's start at the beginning.
Sure.
Let's start at the beginning. Um, what is our um what is our turn progression, and what are we trying to do in order to win? We are trying to
Sure.
get a bunch of cards in our EX area. How are we winning the game?
Sure.
Let's start there before we decide on tertiary colors.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, yeah, how are we winning?
I mean, I
Because
think our
I think the spider is the way to go.
yeah, I do think the glowing
Um,
spider is a good way to be able to push that damage, right? Like it can be a very large body. We're playing it with quick cast, right? So we can get it in there. It is a ninja, so we can do some silly things with like Ega and everything else.
mhm.
Um,
Black spider also has flying, so that's relevant.
hmm,
Um, so if you want like a big, like one or two, just for flying capabilities, that is always something you can keep on the table.
maybe.
Um, yeah. Otherwise, we do have a lot of like really good defensive resonators with Defiant that we just got in white.
Yeah.
Um, that also have flying, so that's really helpful.
Yeah, Cushiel is a really
Um,
solid one.
Cushiel, Puriel as well. You're gonna have to spell it wrong in the search bar. um,
I Are we playing Spy Mission?
I think there's an argument for it. Because we don't have lookup corruption, we do have this instead,
Yeah,
and it's better than Death Gaze.
yeah.
Um,
My argument being that like it's best if we have quick cast from Ega.
yeah,
I could see it at like 2. I got a 2
yeah, it's just a
of.
utility spell.
Not playing 4 spy.
Not playing
Yeah,
four.
Alejandro coming in here with like, yeah, like it's debatable, right? We only have so much space. And let me talk about some of the other spells that I really want to was her name just a typo? You're calling her Puriel from now on? No.
Yes, it was a typo.
No,
Yes, it
her
was.
name was her name was spelled the way it was, but the referenced angel has been spelled Puriel or the other one, and we're calling it Puriel. So that's just how we roll. So one thing that I want to talk about here, some of the cards that I really like. Let's talk about this. I know we're already going tangentially into like the colors that I really like. Is Hindered Magic Duel is insane. This card is insanely good, and it's just very good.
Yeah.
We're already drawing a lot of cards. This helps us dig for cards deeper. This is also why I'm not sure we need to play for Glowing Spider, if I'm being perfectly honest, because Hindered Magic Duel draws you so many cards for so little effort
Sure.
and doing other
Does Hindered
stuff.
Magic Duel deal damage?
Hindered Magic Duel can be a cancel, can destroy things and fog for a turn, gain us life, and
Sure.
draw cards.
So it can't go face.
That's true. I'm not saying we don't play Glowing Spider. I'm just saying we play fewer Glowing Spiders.
I could see 2 or 3.
Yeah, I
Um,
think 2. I think
I just like
yeah. Go ahead.
again, like how I build is like how am I winning the game,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like glowing spider to me, or the spiders in general, just seem like that is your win condition. So you build with that game plan in mind.
Here, can I counterpoint you about why I don't like spiders as the win con?
Yeah, say more
Fractured.
because they can just get hit.
Yeah, they're 1-drops.
Yeah.
That have no
So
way
what
to.
is
So that's why
what is our other win condition?
that's why I like things like contracts and rusty, because they can't be fractured,
Right.
right? So I like the idea. I like pressure points, especially if they're quick cast, not being 1-drops. Just so I don't even have to, just because I don't even have to think about it. I have literally had games where I'm like, well, I've already peeked at your hand, and I know that everything in your hand is just 1-drop spot removal or interaction. Here's a 3-drop. I'm just like, okay, it's great. Quick cast mission would be very good with uppercut if you want to lean into hand control. That's a very real option. We could certainly play into that. There is also the silly line of the thing about, where is it? Spy mission. The thing about spy mission is it's only discard if you're playing it from hand.
Okay.
Which
is it discounted?
It's still discounted. It is still discounted. It's only quick cast if it's only that, and it's only quick cast if we have Ega live, which costs us a will. Spy mission used to be much better because we could just reveal Ega and cheat it into play for free. We can't do that anymore. We have to pay to reveal Ega to try to put it into the field. So the early spy missions doesn't work as much as it did anymore. So I think spy mission is good because it's also spot removal. So I agree in that sense. I'm not sure if we can commit more resources to playing uppercut with spy mission, because I think that becomes worse later and it's harder to set up earlier. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think there's an argument. I think there's an argument to be said that Hyde is a light deck more than a dark deck.
I would
just
agree.
Based on this, if you toggle, you can, like, everyone can see, like, there's a lot more if you go all the way down.
Yeah. Because there's a lot more light here than dark. Yeah.
There's a lot more light than dark.
So lunar protective to me feels like the expel spell to include.
Definitely, probably in the side.
Yeah,
feels like really, really, really solid. Because we don't get access to setting Sun Rune, unfortunately, because we're not solo mode.
How do we feel about? Well, so you bring up an interesting point here about how do we feel about tank. I don't super like tank right now because Memory of Worlds in Paradox is everywhere. Because a lot of the control decks have shifted to playing Memory of Worlds and Memory of Worlds and Thousand Fractured, which is one of the reasons why I kind of like this deck, because it has a lot of activate abilities to kind of play around that with things like R-Tracker, Rusty, stuff like that. And the other thing that I really think is going to be great for this deck is Crownstone. So, which is really interesting here.
You can pay Void or Moon into Hyde's effect, right?
So you can pay Void or Moon into Hyde's effects, and you can use Crownstone to pay 1 white to play Rusty's Fox for 1, but the card's total cost is still 2, which means it can't be targeted, and Rusty's Fox gains barrier. That seems really good to me. And
just inherent buff.
Yeah, just an inherent buff for Rusty. And also what it does is it allows you to you can filter it to be black or white thanks to X the Black Cat. So like Crownstone to me feels like insanely good for this deck.
Yeah, that's really good value.
You can use it to buff when you're trying to play R-Tracker, right? Make it so you don't have to worry about R-Tracker being canceled while it's on the board, on the chase, to be able to pay 2, enter, -6 everything. Like, that seems really good. You can use it for, like I said, Rusty's Fox. That just seems insane to me. Like, pay 1 for Rusty's Fox and then just have it be unstoppable even by 1,000 fractured, right? So that just seems really good. I also want to talk about 2 stones in particular here. 3 stones, actually, which is really interesting for this deck breakdown. So, Chrysoberyl. Oh, I can't spell. Is it C-H?
Yeah.
So, Chrysoberyl naturally produces white, blue, green, but can filter for black with X. Stay with me here. Remnants can filter for green, white, and red, but we can filter for black. This also seems pretty good. Sympathy can pay blue or white, or black or blue, but can filter for white, which is pretty good. And Lichen Blood can give us green and black, or filter into white. So literally, if you have 2 Lichen Blood, 2 Chrysoberyl, 2 Remnants, 2 Crownstone, and 2 Sympathy, then you have a stone base that can realistically support primary white, backup black, secondary black, splash green, blue. That seems pretty good. I'm just saying. That seems pretty good. Because that
we can get funky.
You can get funky. Because that to me opens up being able to play Fractured ourselves. By the way, we could just play 1,000 Fractured ourselves. Because we have technically 8 stones that can get us green in a pinch. Primarily 6. Yeah. Primarily 6, but 8 stones can get us green in a pinch. Or we can't really do. We have to admit that the expel mode, we don't have a lot of green cards, so we're just not going to get that. But like, there's no harm in just teching in like 3,000 Fractured into this deck.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
Yes, I'm not forgetting that X is once per turn, which is why I'm saying primarily white, black, splash, green, blue, right? So if the primary deck itself is white, black, then we can like tech color a few cards of green and a few cards of blue and find them when we need them. Which, like, for me, the cards that I'm thinking of is like 1,000 Fractured Reflections, Hindered Magic Duel. You could run Gravestone. You might as well run Gravestone of the Haunted Palace to use Lunar Eclipse. I suppose that's an option.
Yeah, I don't think that's off the table.
I could see that in place of I don't know. I'd want to see how much of the splash color we need, but I could see like getting rid of like Stone of Remnants or Stone of Sympathy for a single copy of Gravestone, just to like flash it in. I think Hindered Magic Duel is like a really good include here. We playing Vacus?
I think you can play Vacuous.
We've got space.
But now we're skewing more into blue with a little bit of green.
Yeah, for sure. Which
I don't know. Even with all of those stones just being able to be filtered, 4 colors just seems really greedy, just for consistency reasons for me.
Sure. We don't have to like. For me, I kind of agree with you that like I think all of our splash color cards should probably be quick cast.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, Vacus, probably actually not really needed. Hindered Magic Duel, quick cast untouchable, baby. Let's go. 1,000 Fractured Reflections, quick cast. I think that's fine. Kushiel, quick cast. Right now, I'm going to pull up the toggle deck list. We're currently sitting at 31 cards. So, like, we got some space.
So we're casting Rusty, and we're making our J ruler, a contracted J ruler, to win the game,
I
and
yeah,
maybe Kushiel.
and Rusty can also take your opponent's things.
Yeah.
By the way, Rusty is a 3-cost card, so that's really helpful because there's things that have barrier 2 or less.
Believe he's only 3 cost. I thought it was
Yeah,
4 cost.
he's just 3.
No, he's 3 cost.
He's
Okay.
just 3.
Yeah, that's not bad. I would highly advise a way to get rid of Sphinx in the graveyard.
That's true. That's very true.
So I
play
would
ice
like
shards.
1 or 2 ice shards in the main.
Yep.
I feel like that card in the main board is so good.
It
Like
right
in
now,
both formats. Like, I think ice shards is amazing.
Yeah, I do think that ice shards is very, very good right now. So I think 2 copies of ice shards main board, it makes sense to me. Let's see. What else do I think here? Go ahead.
Then reflections can also stop a Hydra God's Art,
It's true.
which does hurt us pretty bad.
It's true. It can stop a Hydra's God's Art. Now, here's another question. This deck, for quite a number of reasons, feels very Callstone Passy. Hyde has always felt Callstone Passy, which is fine. And also, we're talking about making sure that we're safe on colors. Are we playing Academy Grounds?
We're not getting as much length out of it because we're not solo mode.
Well, Academy Grounds doesn't have any solo mode possibilities. It's just a card.
Reveal this card from your hand if your solo mode is engaged.
Oh, if you're solo. Oh, sorry. We don't get the. Yeah, you're right. We don't get the. The god. We can use the God's Art. It just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that feels fair. That was probably not playing that.
I would sideboard 2 of it at most.
I think that's fair. We need a way to. What am I thinking of here? We need a way to maybe We need a way to maybe be able to deal with things like, well, protection can't stop Hyde, so it's not Fates Reunited. So never mind, ignore me.
Yeah.
Well, we're in darkness, so you know what card I'm gonna say we have to play.
1 hit KO.
Yeah, 1 hit. We gotta play some 1 hits. I think that's a pretty easy.
2 or 3.
I think that's a pretty easy include for sure. I think 1 hit KO anesthesia is a pretty easy include. It also works nicely with our tracker to like kill big things, right? Like 1 hit KO -6, our tracker minus another or -5 from 1 hit, -6 from our tracker, -11, just like kills some really good things. I think that's probably good. We've got some cancel protection here. Hindered magic duel.
How do we deal with Therapist?
I think exactly what I just described. It's just like
with
1 hit and our tracker is a way to deal with it, or forcing them to get banished by paying 2 for. Oh no, you can't be banished because of Rocket Dive.
Yeah. I'm saying that sounds good until you realize that's 2 cards to get rid of 1 card.
Rusty's Fox helps with Therapist as well.
Yeah, it actually
because
does.
It can just flip up. If we have 3 things face down, we can just... Or if we have Rusty's Fox by itself, we can go our tracker, flip up Rusty's Fox, kill it. Judgment of Solari, we do have a couple of red sources. I think Judgment of Solari is probably a good main deck 2 of, because that's also reach. If we're talking about win conditions.
I was also thinking Priest. Priest would be okay too.
Priest is also an option. I do think it's red to be able to burn stuff though, so that's a little bit like.
But we just talked about Judgment of Solari.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, so I'm like you could do like 2 and 1, and then like side 2 more priests in the sideboard or something.
So like
right?
2 priests and a judgment.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
Of Solari. Judgment of Solari. Let me just go grab it real quick. Everything with solarization is currently wanting to be red. Judgment of Solari. Where is it? There it is. Okay. I don't hate that. It's a 5-color deck. Crazy that it actually doesn't actually look that bad for a 5-color deck.
Really
Is
doesn't,
there any
no.
way you can build the deck to run shamans or pivot into playing shaman post side for some matchups? I very much think you could play this deck to play shamans. I definitely do think you could. You could pivot pretty heavily into it. I do.
Alabaster Shaman.
Yeah, I do worry a little bit about its ability. Like, I think if you're playing shamans, you're leaning heavily into let's cast Rusties. Because there's no way to make him cheaper. You're just going to pay 3. Like, I think if you're playing... So, like, legitimately, let's have a conversation here. I think if you're bringing in Alabasters, you're all in on Pink Spider Flip and Rusty shooting things. Like you have ways to be able to apply pressure of your own without disrupting your game plan too much over an Alabaster. So I do think that that's a thing. So I don't hate that at all either. So this is where the deck is standing right now. I like it. It feels pretty good. It feels like it's got reactivity. It feels like it's got interaction. It feels like it's got pressure. It feels like it's got some tricks to be able to play through some silly stuff. It feels like it's got long game. It's got board clears. It's got survivability elements. It's got a diversification of answers, which I think is incredibly important right now. I just think you need to be able to have different ways to remove stuff. Not just targeted, not just RFG'd, not just damage, not just RFG. Like, you need to be able to do a diversity of stuff. So this to me feels pretty good. We're 2 cards short.
I just realized you're playing Shooting Star Hyde too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That's
Also,
really
also good. It gives you infinite...
I mean, is this where Spy Mission comes in?
That's true.
Because, like, we have room for 2 Spy Mission.
Yeah, that's true. So there is a world to me where, because let's have a real talk, right?
Yeah.
In looking at this list, it feels like this list has enough stuff in it that says you've slammed an Alabaster. Okay, I'm gonna pivot. Like, it feels like it has stuff to be able to do that in the main board, which makes me wonder if we even need priests mainboarded.
We should consider courtesans.
We can't. It's solo mode.
Is that solo mode?
The pitch effect is solo mode, if that's what you're trying to get at.
Oh, I was thinking about getting rid of Troublesome Regalia.
That is also
like
something that I've
Fates Reunited.
Yeah. Courtesans is probably an include, even though it's not solo mode, because it is untouchable. So I think a couple courtesans make sense.
Or we could even just play Kilowas.
Kilowas can't hit Regalia, so if we're specifically talking about Regalia...
It can't hit Regalia. It can get rid of additions, but I think this deck cares a lot about Fates Reunited. Personally, because it shuts down Hyde. And
That's
I know
true.
you're not expecting it, but
Sure.
there's just that one
I think Fossil Girl is very sideboardable. I would agree with you that I think Fossil Girl is sideboardable. I think
because we're going 5 colors, so
yeah, we might as well. Like, the stone base supports it. I know that it's very silly and it looks like a very greedy stone base. But like, the stone base very much supports this idea of like tech, like random off color tech, right? I think Ritualist hurts...
you don't play Ritualist.
Yeah, Ritualist hurts you too much because every single one of your Hyde abilities costs 2. Priests is
Raymond
more for therapy.
I think
Epiphanic Priests... I agree that Epiphanic Priest probably still has to go in the sideboard at easiest. If we put back in 4 Spy Mission... Hold on. So this is another consideration of Spy Mission that I'd like to have is... Like, too many cards. We could cut the Judgment of Solari down to 1, or cut the Judgment of Solari from the main board if we're playing Courtesan's main board. And I don't think we need the main boarded.
Judgment of Solari.
The Judgment of Solari. Okay, so
Yeah.
this gets us at 40. It's primarily white, black. It splashes into a very small amount of green and blue. A very small amount of green and blue. Which feels supported by the stone base, because every stone can produce us white or black, and then tangentially gets us a little bit of reach into our other color.
Are we not playing Emerald Tablet because it's base blue?
I was literally just about to think about, should we be playing Emerald Tablet? And I think there's a world where we should be playing Emerald Tablet instead of Sympathies, because I'm stupid. Emerald Tablet. Magic Stone deck. Get rid of Sympathy. I just completely ignored that stone.
Tablets, Crystal Barrel, Crown Stones.
So, Tablet, Crown, Remnant, Crystal Barrel, Lycan's Blood.
Yeah, that feels good.
As weird as that stone base looks, I actually think it supports this deck really nicely.
Yeah.
It feels like it has a good blend of interaction as well as spell stopping and protection. It feels like it has cancels. It feels like it has removal. It feels like it has disruption. I went down to 1 Cushiel. I could see us playing 2, just so we're at 41 cards with a second copy of Cushiel.
We are drawing a lot.
We draw a lot of cards.
I don't really hate. I mean, going to 41 is fine.
Yeah.
What's our ideal turn 1? Like, what card do we want to see on?
I think the ideal turn 1.
Rusty's Fox, right?
I think the ideal turn 1 would be seeing Iga Village and Spy Mission in hand, and then God's Arting into a Rusty's Fox.
Okay. Or
actually, sorry,
God's Arting into an Iga.
Or God's Arting into an Iga. Yeah, so then we have
okay.
So that we have Iga reveal produces will for an Iga, kind of a thing.
We're going to math. We're mathing.
We're mathing it up.
So out of a 41 card deck, we are looking at 5 cards, successes in population. We have 8 successes, and we're trying to find 2. So getting the chance to draw 2 or more of the wanted card is just under 25%.
And Hyde X the Black Cat will look at the top 5. Something that costs with reflections is it does cost more from the EX area. Yeah, I think that's fine. We have technically 8 stones that can cast the reflections. I'll say this also too. I'm not entirely sold on 1,000 Fractured Reflections. I just like it because we used to be able to play. We used to be able to play Mirror, right? So there's this argument of like you want to be able to interact with like activate abilities or stuff, but maybe 1,000 Fractures just not necessary. We might just accept that like we're gonna have to deal with cancels, so that's what it's gonna be, and so we lean more into untouchable stuff and activate abilities to just not care about cancels.
I think the reason we value reflections is not for the cancel ability of spells, but for activate abilities.
Yeah,
because there are a lot of activate abilities that hurt this.
Yep.
Roamer hurts this deck a little bit. Well-timed Roamer. It stops a Hydra God's Art. It's not, frankly, it stops any God's Arts. Which are relevant in this format. I don't know. I would be willing to test with it in the deck.
Yeah.
and just see like what happens.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I think as I'm looking at this list, the first card that I would be willing to cut would be Reflections. Right? Single-handedly. Like that to me is like, oh, that's the cuttable card.
So the thing about White Sphinx is I believe the 0 cost is 0 cost and discard.
And it's solo mode only.
And it's solo mode only.
Oh, sorry, the solo mode part
no,
is...
in regard to like stopping a White Sphinx 0 cost activate ability, the problem is like they could just do it again.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, it's in the graveyard already, so its continuous effect is already applying. You're discarding it with the 0 cost to DD Crow 2 things out of the graveyard.
Out of their graveyard, which then means that we have to then have our own in the we would still be able to draw again. I could see Sphinx being sideboarded for sure in this list, but I don't think it's main boardable. Come on, where am I at? Here we go. My deck lists.
Yeah, I don't even know if we main board it because it shuts off our own draw engine even if we use it proactively.
If we're solo mode though, it doesn't shut off. Because we're not solo mode, it doesn't shut off our draw engine.
Because we're not solo mode. Oh, and it has untouchable, so never mind. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think Sphinx has.
I'm still learning about Sphinx. Like this card for me.
I think Sphinx has a world where it's side deckable based on like what kind of like how important is the graveyard for your opponent, right? Which I think that's kind of meta defined.
Yeah.
Right, by what do you have to deal with?
I mean, you can also just play it as a resonator for 2.
2 white.
And then it's a flying 5/7 with barrier, so that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
So like if you don't need it, it's just,
and then whenever damage is dealt to this card, gain a Will Void coin token, which then produces Will for being able to put a card face down because of Hyde.
Strangely, I like this card.
Are we suddenly starting to think about maybe boarding it? Maybe we're main decking Sphinxes.
Instead of no, I think man. Well, Sphinx answers Sphinx.
Yep.
Right. So I think in this very niche pick, I think you might play Sphinx over
Ice Shards.
Ice Shards.
That's a world. Yeah, that's a vibe. Because you don't get the God's Art effect of Ice Shards, so Ice Shards can't ever replace itself. So I'm also like, eh. Okay, we're doing it. We're gonna take out the 2 Ice Shards. We're gonna take out the 2 Ice Shards. We're gonna take all 3 of these Sphinxes and we're gonna main deck them. And then we're going to be at 41 cards.
This is crazy.
It's so silly, but I kind of love it. I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, I kind of love this. This is great.
Again, it's that diversification of threats, right? It's another untouchable body that doesn't force us to be out of color. It gives us this interesting element of being able to push pressure. It survives Demon's Blood, and it actually strangely punishes Demon's Blood because damage would be dealt to it, so it would take 6, and then you would get to produce a will coin. Don't hate that. This is very interesting.
Yeah, this is a very interesting deck.
I kind of love it. I kind of love it.
I feel it.
It's just this. I'm still just looking at that 1000 Fractured and seeing that it is the only green card in the deck, and I'm just like,
feels wrong.
Is this point of like I'm not even sure if we need like. Do we keep it or do we run something else that's not stone dependent?
Here's a compromise.
I'm listening.
If we do not change our stone base and then just move those 3 cards to the sideboard,
yes.
What do we get access to?
We get access to 3 more slots, which I enjoy. I think this no Sword of Progs, absolutely not. In
uppercut
Paradox
bait.
in Paradox right now, Sword of Progress is so bad. Sword of Prog is so bad. Just takes too. It like you just don't want to get it online. It's just not good. What is the plan against Gil and other soul eating decks? Well, technically, so here's the thing about Setting Sun. So you say that. That's a very interesting point. Let's talk about Setting Sun real quick. Because edit the deck list. We actually can still 100% get Setting Sun. We just can't reveal it. So we can just sideboard several and then just play them. We can just main deck them.
I like 3-setting the sun.
In the sideboard?
Yeah, in the side. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. You can just play them.
Or even like 2 in the side, and instead of Kushi, I'll just run it in the main.
I don't know. Man.
In case you're running out of cards in your deck. But I like Kushiel a little bit more. And then are we playing Puriel in the side as well?
I don't think so. I think this deck has enough like interaction to stop the cheese stuff that I think with like Engraved Rune. So there is something to be said about we could move. No, here we go. I'm going down a lane. Okay, you here with me? You sticking with me, bud? There is a world where we go up to 2 Kushiel and we play 2 Engraved Rune of the Setting Sun in the main board with 1 in the side.
Okay.
So then we're sitting at still 41. And it looks like this.
That's not bad. And then we're just in Esper colors.
Yeah, then we're just in green, blue, in green.
For Esper game 1,
blue, white,
and then we can...
This makes me think that we change Lycan's Bloods or Remnants to be Sympathies.
Just for more blue.
Or... it's not even that much blue. This is primarily like a white-black deck. It's
a white-black deck.
It has 3 we were like, oh, 5 color. All the extra color is coming from the tech cards in the sideboard. Like 3 Hindered Magic Duel. Like I do think I do think 1 Sympathy makes it in. I could see us playing Surprise no command, seeing how most things are 2 cost heavy. I just don't love... I mean, we could sideboard command points. I could see that.
So, okay. So your stones for... I think your 6 stones that are for sure are your crown stones, your emerald tablets, and your crystal barrels.
I agree.
For sure.
Agreed.
I think that's a given. So I just had a thought. If you do sympathies over emerald, if you do sympathies over emerald tablet,
I don't think we get rid of emerald tablets ever because it's all 3 of the primary colors of the deck.
Yeah, it's all 3 of the primary colors of the deck.
I think so hear me out. We've also talked about how this is a heavy white. That, like, if you look at the list, it's primary white.
Yeah, heavy white.
Secondary black. Tech splash other color. That, to me, thinks that we get rid of Lycan Bloods for Sympathies instead.
Sure, because then we have...
Because then the stone is at least hitting 2 of our 3 primary colors, and we can filter it into the 3rd. Whereas Lycan Blood was only hitting 1 of our primary colors, and we could filter it into 1 of the secondary colors. And it would sometimes be helpful for green.
Yeah. The reason you don't drop Crown is because of the Rusty's Fox interaction that we were talking about before. Because you can cast Rusty's Fox, and because he's a 2-drop, he gets a barrier
I
when he comes into the field.
this
So
deck,
I think you
yeah,
keep Crownstone.
I think double Crownstone is correct for this deck, specifically because we have Rusty's Fox and we have our Tracker that we want them to resolve. Like these are, it gives like pseudo untouchable, right? And I think pseudo untouchable on a quick cast body is very, very, very good. So I think double Crownstone is correct, 100% for this deck. Because
So,
X can filter.
okay.
Because X can filter. If X couldn't filter, I would agree with you, down to 1. But because X can filter and it can pay Void into Hyde's activate ability, so we can still use it without having to pay life, I do think it's 100% correct.
Yeah, it's a good Hyde stone. So we have four green sources,
Mm-hmm.
and we have 6 blue sources.
That feels really good for a main deck that only has 3 blue cards and possibly 3 green cards in the sideboard.
Yeah. And Kiloas.
Is it going to hurt you when hit 2 Tri-Stones and the second enters rested? No. The third one entering causes it to come into play tapped. If we only have 2 of any Tri-Stone, they can never come into play tapped. They'll always come into play recovered. I don't know, man. This looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think this looks really great.
This looks pretty fun.
Yeah, it doesn't see itself as it enters.
Like I'm thinking through the threat. I'm thinking like through the threats of the environment, right? And I'm thinking 1,000 Fractured Reflections, which if they use it to cancel a Hyde activate ability during their end step, oh well, we don't even lose a card. They burn a card for something we did nothing. It has ways to play through Alabaster. It has ways to punish. It has ways to answer therapists. It has ways to play around Alabasters. It has ways to not care about Demon's Blood as much. It has ways to protect itself from combo wombo stuff. It has ways to deal with additions. It has ways to deal with life loss. It has ways to deal with graveyard shenanigans. Like, it feels pretty well rounded. It has diversified threats. It feels pretty well rounded.
Yeah. It's got good bones.
It's got good bones.
It's got good bones. So in terms of the decks we might see,
sure.
And I have questions because like I have my own Paradox format, kind of like metagame,
for sure
thing. Other high decks, we're probably not going to see a lot of those.
Nope.
Is Yokoshima going to be a thing?
So it certainly could be. That's why I kind of like the Engraved Rune of the Setting Stone, because it's a way for us to heal. If Yokoshima decided to have a fancy footwork burn turn, we can just be like, okay.
No.
It's also nice for Sphinx.
Hachi.
Yeah, same for Hachi. Sphinx is helpful as well. Kushiel is also helpful to be able to kind of buffer us up for early turns. You know,
Leica is no longer in the metagame.
That's not true.
Right?
Like is 100. She is 100% still in the metagame.
Okay.
Helpful things, but like things like Rusty's Fox can be really helpful in that environment. Same with Sphinx of the Godlike Sands to be able to mess with their graveyard. One hit KO Anesthesia can help with that. Can you remove a Val Raven? Yeah, Hindered Magic Duel. He only has barrier green black.
I believe you. I
mean, hindered magic, like legitimately hindered magic duel just stops him, or we force him to get banished off the field by a rocket dive.
I don't actually have any rulers from BSR in my like tier list that high.
Post ATD, Bianchi with the Oaths. But that's in Wanderer, not Paradox. In Paradox, not so much. In Wanderer, yes. Bianchi Oath Spam is absolutely a deck. But in Paradox, not so much. Because they don't have access to Scrivener. So it's not very good.
Yeah.
Not even Alex. Not really. Again, her card is Wanderer.
I think there's an Alex control deck out there, but I
Yeah.
think she's maybe the best of them. In fact, I would even go in here. I have got them under the underutilized tier on my list. I'd move them down even to not used because they're just not
in Paradox. In Paradox, yeah.
In Paradox, sure. They're not showing up too much.
This deck looks so fun.
Yeah.
And I just will not have time to play it.
Valentina, Gil, Flute combo.
Mm-hmm.
Hachi's a little weird. Matilda matchup, I think you just win. I think that becomes skill dependent, not deck dependent.
Yeah, I will say that this deck certainly has less things to punish the early. Like we don't have things like as much of like Soul Eating Curse or things like that. But I do think with like R Tracker being an activate ability, just being able to go like, oh, okay, hit the Knight Captain.
Yeah.
Like Matilda is not going to be very easily able to stop you from just using R Tracker to kill their big thing and then wiping them. Or to kill their Knight Captain and then just being like, okay, cool. Hindered Magic Duel is also really good against Matilda because you just are just like, okay, none of your other stuff can attack. We did it. Like Hindered Magic Duel is a very, very good card. Like,
yeah,
you have to be really careful about it. Which is, again, that's why I like Crownstone. It has the ability to get barrier. Or we have, Hyde to be able to mess with that pink spider. To be able to shoot some stuff.
Yeah.
Pink spider. Spy mission, also very helpful. Because you can, like, peek at your opponent's hand and be like, oh, you don't have anything. I know when to go in and attack now. Great. Yeah, this deck looks fun. It's a shame that everyone voted for Symphony Stun for the all-nighter because I kind of want to take this for the all-nighter. Ironically, also a blue-black-white control deck because I think that Esper is a very good color combo for Paradox right now. Does a lot. The Symphony deck is very different than the side deck though, for sure, which is fine. Maybe we'll do this for the all-nighter after the Symphony Stun list leading up to Worlds. Somebody play this in my event this weekend. Yo-Yo. Go. Play this deck at the Discord event this weekend. Ta-da! See what happens. This is, although you can't actually, because there's a bunch of there's the ATD cards in here. Never mind.
Did we
play something other than Hindered Magic Duel? Play Thousand Fractured instead.
Ray Asinable, there you go.
No, just play No, literally all you have to do is just replace the Hindered Magic Duels with Thousand Fractures and change the stone base to be more green than blue, and we've solved it. There we go. But do it.
Did we polish off the sideboard? Do we have 15?
I have not. I have not done the sideboard yet. Yeah, no, I'm saying you just take out Hindered Magic Duels. Put the sympathies back make the sympathies into Lycan Bloods, and then play the Thousand Fractures in the main instead of the 3 Hindered Magic Duel. And there you go. It's done. Piece of cake. Easy peasy. Plus you have Larinka already built. Fair. Larinka is pretty cool. I do enjoy Larinka quite a bit. It's a fun deck.
So
fun deck.
Do we side 3 Shaman?
I think so. I think you might as well.
Because I think we do it because we respect Fox on this channel.
We're a Fox respect channel. Listen, oh my gosh. Wait to the feature match for this week, everybody. So much Fox, so much Shaman respect. Although I will say this, coming from the feature match for this week that you haven't seen, both Paul and I forget the fact very heavily, and it actually legitimately does influence the match in a pretty big way for one of the games. I won't say which one. That we don't get to play cards or do activate abilities in our main phase or recovery phases and end phases when there's a shaman on the field. So,
Oh gosh.
how many
Well,
times did you use Vathfrunir before recovering one turn? 3?
too many. Too many.
I was
Oh
watching,
crap.
I was editing it, and I was like, huh, could not have done that. Oh well.
Does that it really does lock us to main phases.
Yep,
Oh my
it locks
god.
us to main phases.
That's so funny.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
so
It's very
funny.
funny. It's
I've
very
never thought I literally thought it was just Mirage Spirit Text.
Nope, 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 nope. It's all good.
No.
It's all good. I don't really mind. I don't think it's main boardable because I think arguably it does hurt Hyde a little bit from being able to set cards face down in your opponent's end phase. But I do think she has matchups where she won't care, so she will. That's why I think sideboard over main board makes sense to me for Shaman.
Mhm.
And there's the deck.
Alternative?
I'll put the link for this deck in the chat if you want to go play it yourself. This is the list. We built it live.
There you go. I've also been finding myself trending toward Muse Staring At
Sure.
a little bit more, just because that's a one-time instance that I can repeat, whereas Shaman is permanent.
True. It's true.
So there might be an alternative to I mean, if you don't have Magic Duel, like you could just play like 1 or 2 Muse
That's true.
and then like one other card.
Yeah. Also true.
Um
Very fun.
yeah, so that's relevant.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for joining us. This was super fun. We do.
Yeah, it's good.
Let us know if you're watching this in post. Let us know what it was like for you, kind of enjoying this experience with us. We're considering doing this more often as its own kind of separate video series, with whether a live stream more often or Paul rocking it out with different people, kind of in a rotating basis to chat with him as we do those videos. So let us know what you think about it in the comment sections. Go sign up for this weekend's Discord event. I really would love for a good attendance for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's the last Discord circuit kit before Worlds. So that's going to be really exciting. Shortly after Worlds is when I plan on announcing the next kit. We want to try to get at least 2 more kits done before next FowFest. So we're working on that for sure. But let us know what you guys think in the comment sections down below or in the chat. As always, go ahead and like and subscribe, share it out with everybody, and be on the lookout at Odyssey Games' website to get your pre-orders in for next set, because that's going to be coming up here in early December. So be on the lookout for that. Going to be very exciting. Maybe we'll get a Mistletoe ruler. Certainly feels like that might be what we're gearing towards, which would be very cool. Just some housekeeping pieces for this week. We're going to have another ATD feature match this week featuring Fox versus Odin, and it is it's a very fun match. I was really happy with how that turned out. And deck profiles and stuff as usual. And until next time, this has been myself, DMO73, and I've been joined by the wonderful Paul Reisman.
I think that's me.
That is you. And obviously
Pretty sure.
all of y'all in the chat helping us deck build this live. And until next time, class dismissed.
See you guys.